In December 1975, inside a quiet, dimly lit research laboratory in Rochester, New York, a young engineer held a crude, toaster-sized machine assembled from circuit boards, spare parts, and a portable cassette tape drive. It was heavy, slow, and recorded a monochrome image onto a magnetic cassette, a picture that took nearly 23 seconds to display on a television set. It was the world's very first digital camera. Fast forward 37 years to January 2012. That very same corporation filed for Chapter 11 bankruptcy protection. An industrial giant once valued at over $30 billion collapsed, thousands of factory workers lost their jobs, and massive chemical manufacturing plants were reduced to rubble. This is the ultimate business paradox in modern history. Kodak didn't lose because they were technologically backward or caught off guard by progress. They invented the exact digital technology that transformed modern imaging, and then deliberately suppressed it to protect an empire built on paper, dyes, and chemical film. This is the complete, untold story of how fear, corporate arrogance, and an obsession with short-term profits destroyed a $140 billion titan. To comprehend the full scale of Kodak's catastrophic collapse, one must first understand the incredible height of the mountain they occupied. Founded in 1888 by George Eastman, Kodak didn't merely sell camera equipment. They created the consumer market for personal memories. Eastman's original slogan, "You press the button, we do the rest," democratized an art form that had previously required glass plates, dangerous chemicals, and professional studios. By the mid-20th century, Kodak wasn't just a successful company, it was woven directly into the fabric of human emotion. If a life event mattered, a wedding, a child's first steps, a family vacation, or the historical Apollo 11 moon landing, it was captured, developed, and preserved on Kodak film. By the late 1970s and early 1980s, Kodak achieved a level of economic monopoly that modern tech giants can only dream of. They controlled a staggering 90% of the US film market and over 85% of all camera sales worldwide. The trademark phrase Kodak moment became globally synonymous with joy, warmth, and nostalgic value. Financially, the company was an unstoppable cash generation engine. Wall Street analysts viewed Kodak stock as safe as government treasury bonds, and Rochester residents reverently referred to the massive corporate headquarters building as the Yellow Colossus. The company's profit margins were absurdly lucrative, reaching nearly 80% on film rolls and chemical processing paper. Kodak owned every single profitable link in the photographic value chain: the cameras, the film canisters, the development machines, the chemical dyes, and the photo paper. But this staggering financial power built a deadly level of executive complacency and a hidden vulnerability that was quietly emerging inside their own research labs. In 1973, a young electrical engineer named Steve Sasson was hired by Kodak's apparatus division. He was assigned a modest research task: investigate whether a newly developed electronic sensor, known as a charge-coupled device or CCD, had any practical application for capturing images. Working largely isolated from the company's core chemical operations, Sasson spent over a year experimenting with spare parts. By late 1975, he assembled a working prototype, an 8-pound contraption powered by 16 AA batteries, utilizing a movie camera lens and an analog tape drive. It took 23 seconds to record a digital black and white picture, and another 23 seconds for a custom playback deck to read the magnetic data and display a tiny pixelated image on a screen. It was crude, slow, and visually unimpressive. But it proved a radical truth: photography could exist entirely without liquid chemistry, paper, or physical film. When Sasson proudly demonstrated the breakthrough to senior management and corporate strategists, he expected enthusiasm. Instead, he encountered an icy wall of corporate dread. Executive leadership didn't evaluate the camera based on its future potential. They evaluated it strictly based on their current balance sheet. One executive famously told Sasson, "That's cute, but don't tell anyone about it." Management immediately recognized that filmless photography would destroy their profitable chemical pipeline. The prototype was patented, classified as a secret, and locked away in corporate vaults. Kodak chose to hide the future to protect their present profits, naively believing they could control the pace of global innovation. The core structural flaw in Kodak's strategy was their total entrapment in the razor and blade business model. In this setup, companies sell the razor, the physical camera, at a low margin or even a loss, while generating astronomical profits on the blades, the endless rolls of film, chemical development kits, and photographic paper that consumers must purchase repeatedly. Digital cameras threaten to eliminate the blades entirely. If a consumer could take a photo, view it instantly on a screen, and store it digitally on a memory card for free, Kodak's multi-billion-dollar chemical supply chain would become useless overnight. Kodak's internal market intelligence actually predicted the rise of digital photography with remarkable accuracy. A comprehensive internal report written in 1981 warned senior leadership that digital imaging would completely replace traditional chemical film within 15 to 20 years. Yet, instead of using that decade-and-a-half lead time to transform their corporate structure, Kodak spent billions attempting to make film slightly better and more convenient. While Kodak sat comfortably on its digital patents, a ruthless competitor was plotting from across the Pacific. In 1984, Fujifilm, a Japanese company that had long played second fiddle, shocked Kodak by winning the official film sponsorship for the Los Angeles Olympic Games. Fuji used its high-profile foothold in the American market to launch a devastating price war, offering high-quality film rolls at significantly lower prices. Crucially, Fuji's leadership realized that traditional film had a limited lifespan. While Kodak spent its reserves buying back stock and defending film margins, Fuji aggressively reinvested its profits into digital electronics, high-tech chemical coatings, pharmaceuticals, and cosmetics. By the mid-1990s, foreign rivals like Canon, Sony, Nikon, and Fuji were flooding the global market with early digital point-and-shoot cameras. Kodak finally attempted to respond by launching its own line of digital cameras, like the popular DC series. They even captured a temporary market share lead in the United States in the early 2000s. However, there was a fatal economic flaw. Because every digital camera sold actively destroyed their film sales, Kodak was actually losing money on their digital division while watching their high-margin film revenue rapidly evaporate. They were caught in an inescapable financial death spiral, selling high volumes of low-margin digital devices that couldn't cover the immense overhead of their legacy chemical factories. In a desperate bid to restructure, Kodak hired prominent external executives. In 1993, they brought in George Fisher, the former chief executive of Motorola. Fisher immediately recognized that Kodak needed to transform into a high-tech digital software company. He invested billions into digital research, software development, and strategic partnerships. However, Fisher encountered fierce internal resistance from Kodak's entrenched chemical executives, who viewed software engineers as lower-class employees compared to film chemists. Internal political infighting completely paralyzed every major digital initiative. By the time Antonio Perez took over as chief executive in 2005, Kodak shifted its strategic focus back to a fatal obsession: home photo printing. Perez firmly believed that even in a digital world, consumers would always demand physical paper prints to put in photo albums. He poured massive capital into high-tech inkjet desktop printers and retail printing kiosks, attempting to force a digital world back into a paper-based box. The ultimate example of this strategic blindness occurred in 2001, when Kodak acquired an early online photo-sharing website called Ophoto for nearly $124 million. Kodak had built a digital photo-sharing network almost 9 years before Instagram was even conceived. But instead of turning Ophoto into a social platform where users could connect, comment, and share memories digitally on screens, Kodak used the website for one primary purpose: to force users to order physical paper prints delivered through the mail. They fundamentally misread human behavior. People didn't want paper prints anymore. They wanted instant, digital connection. In April 2012, a small mobile app named Instagram, with just 13 employees and zero physical manufacturing, was acquired by Facebook for $1 billion. 3 months prior, in January 2012, Eastman Kodak, burdened by billions in debt and thousands of pension liabilities, filed for Chapter 11 bankruptcy protection. To satisfy hungry creditors during bankruptcy, Kodak was forced to hold an emergency fire sale of its most valuable remaining assets: its vast portfolio of digital imaging patents. Tech giants including Apple, Google, Samsung, and Microsoft bought Kodak's digital patents for $527 million, a tiny fraction of their true historical value. Kodak survived bankruptcy as a scaled-down commercial printing and specialty chemicals company, but the cultural juggernaut was gone forever. Their collapse was not caused by a lack of genius, budget, or technical foresight. Kodak failed because of psychological inertia, the total inability of successful leaders to abandon the business model that made them rich in the past. They invented the future, feared it, hid it, and ultimately were destroyed by it. The fall of Kodak remains the ultimate warning for every modern corporation. If you refuse to cannibalize your own business, the market will gladly do it for you. Which tech giant today do you think risks making the exact same mistake as Kodak? Share your thoughts in the comments below, hit the like button, and subscribe to Corporate Vault for more deep dive business case studies. Thanks for watching.